Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I think we'll just start.
Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this very upbeat, odd intro to Bitter Chatter.
Hey, it's a wonderful, happy, fun place to be, and no one ever gets mad, ever, we promise.
We
Ignore everything else that you've heard before now.
We love talking about egg salad and Loki.
No, we don't, actually. No, we don't enjoy that at all.
You're right, we don't enjoy talking about Loki, just the egg salad. So, we're here with... There wasn't even a sound, ladies and gentlemen. There wasn't even a sound that came out of his mouth. I just felt the anger pushing towards me like a force.
It's an oppressive force, like Goliath. It will devour you. You leave your helmet on the ground.
Oh no, my glorious porpoise. So, we're here. I'm
What's that? What the fuck was that? That was a different voice from you
yeah,
or me.
we have a guest. We have a guest here with us. Explain yourself, guest.
Who are you?
I'm the resident simp.
How did you get here?
I don't know.
Very good, alright.
She just showed up.
Yeah.
If there's anything about you that I love, is your just complete zero lack of improv skills.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot make up anything on the spot to save your life.
It's
like,
much
hey, look out!
pressure.
Look out! We're being attacked by a bear. And Ellie's like, no, there's no bear.
No, we're not.
No.
There's no bear.
Where's the bear?
So yes, we are joined by Ellie Wilmer once again, and they will be helping us out with our topic of the day, which is... Brooks, why don't you explain it? Because you're the one that came up with this idea. You know more about it than I do, clearly.
So, there was a book one time. This book is known to many people as 1984.
Yes.
Written by George Orwell. And in that story of a oppressive society, there exists a singular room wherein dissidents to this oppressive society get sent, never to be seen or heard from again. This room is called Room 101.
Yes.
So we are taking this topic. We're the first ones to do this. There wasn't a prolific TV show in England that did this before us. We are the first ones to do this.
Well, was there a prolific podcast that's ever done it?
Very true. We're gonna have a couple of topics. Don't know how many. Enough to fill out 2 hours.
Ish.
And we've each got some nominations for things in life that we wish did not exist, and that we would put in Room 101. But
Yes.
the catch is, only one thing from each category can go inside the room. We have to come to a committee decision as to which one we want to put in the room.
See, that was the part I was actually going to ask about. It was like, are we each putting a thing in, so 3 things go in, or is it okay? So that's
If you have multiple ideas for one topic, we won't rule out any nominees. It's just only one thing can go in there at a time. So you got to make sure that what you're putting in there is really deserving.
Yeah, and we've come up with a small list of categories that I feel, we all feel could warrant some discussion. And the first one on this list is actually one I would like to do, which is animals. So, I don't know if you guys have anything off the top of your head you would want to put in. I'm absolutely nominating mosquitoes, because fuck mosquitoes. I actually just got bit up yesterday, hanging outside with my girlfriend, playing volleyball, and they love my fucking ankles. I don't know why they always go after my fucking ankles. But yeah, mosquitoes can go fuck themselves, and I would definitely put them inside Room 101, where they can all die forever. Endlessly.
Infinite Diavolo Deathloop.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's what they deserve.
That's not something I disagree with.
No.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do realize, before anyone gets on us about this, I do
Before
realize
any
that,
of the botanists in the audience get on our buttocks.
I do understand, unfortunately, mosquitoes are important to ecosystems, and they play a role in the larger web of life, or whatever the fuck. I don't care.
If you get rid of one dictator, something else will come in to fill the void.
Right. Instead, now there will be millions of variants of mosquitoes.
Then come in the mecha mosquitoes. Just tiny little robots.
Yeah.
Okay, so mosquitoes. That's not a bad input, honestly. But I see your mosquitoes and I raise you a different type of flying insect.
Okay, what you got?
Mhm.
Fucking wasps.
Yes.
It's hard to argue with that. Wasps.
Wasps? I have a story about
Okay,
why
please
I've
tell your
had
story.
a bitter rivalry with the wasps my entire life. When I was a little boy, and I was in a park, I was just minding my own business, being 3 years old, not really doing much. But then, over my ear, I think it was my left ear, I hear a buzzing, and I'm just like, "Ooh, what is that?" I'm gonna put my hand over my ear to see what if it stops. It didn't stop. The buzzing
no.
intensified,
Oh no.
and then suddenly, very sharp pain right in my ear.
Oh no.
And then I let go, and I started screaming for the heavens because, oh my god, a wasp fucking stung me in my ear hole.
On the inside of your fucking ear?
In my ear hole.
Oh god.
And ever since then, I've never forgiven them. They're little angry fucks that they should take a page from the bees. And just not be aggressive, for no reason.
Well, this is close to what I was about to say, is that apparently wasps, as far as the ecosystem goes, they don't really matter.
Oh, they do.
They do?
Yes, a common
I thought they didn't.
misconception.
Here's the botanist coming into...
I like bees.
Bees absolutely staying. We're not even going
Yeah,
to nominate bees.
But like wasps, they literally do almost the same thing.
What? Ah, damn it.
They don't produce honey.
No, and they are very angry. But they
So
are.
what do they do then?
They're good for the plants. They spread pollen.
Oh.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we
the
not
thing
just
that-
do that ourselves?
Right?
Can
Let's
we
all
not just get a
little
bunch of like
spoons.
Q-tips and just go about
I
dotting,
mean,
dotting the plants?
That would be great. Do you want to do it?
No.
Then there we go.
I'm really surprised that no like big Elon Musk type person has just like I've invented a bunch of tiny little drone bugs that are just gonna fly around and do the bee work, and they're just gonna dust pollen everywhere. So get ready for allergies, but it's also good for the world.
Nah, we gotta go to space first, apparently.
Yeah.
Fuck this planet. Let's get
Let's
off
go
this
to Mars
planet
and ruin that place.
We gotta get off of Earth because there's no bees.
We killed all the bees. Now we go to Mars and kill all the bees there.
Fuck the bee Martians. But the other thing about wasps is that bees, if they sting you, they die. Wasps don't.
They are fueled with the spirit of vengeance, but nothing has ever slighted them. They're just angry about being born. Truly the rage of insects.
they're just little flying Bakugos, and they just fucking like hate everything.
At least Bakugo's on the hero course.
Yes.
These wasps would not be on the hero course.
How dare you compare Bakugo to a wasp
I just mean
in
that they're
my
both,
presence?
I would just mean that they're both angry and irrational.
No.
You see what I have to
Fair
live
enough.
with? You can't have any
I also-
fucking constructive criticisms of favorite characters, because otherwise you'll just be
You
shut
can have
down.
you can have constructive criticisms, but you're just mean to him.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Oh no. What did he
I
ever do
like-
to deserve that?
Nothing.
Of course.
He's perfect.
I
Uh-huh.
like, if I could just have a little aside, I like that Ellie has joined us for 3 episodes now, and it is not until this 3rd episode, about 13 minutes into it, where we have finally got the most passionate version of Ellie by shitting on Bakugo Katsuki from My Hero Academia.
You see, this is why we call you the resident simp, is because if we at all look at your boyfriends incorrectly, you get so defensive and angry,
I do.
like we just kicked your bowl of salad all over the floor.
You did. You kicked my
No, my
Bakugo.
lettuce.
You're yelling at me, I did fucking nothing! I think you'll find it was him! Him inside the computer that did this.
You both did.
What did I do?
You work together.
No, I literally said
You
nothing.
are variants of each other, therefore I blame both of you.
Great. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, no problem. This is what we do, us variants.
Why do I feel like at least one of us is going to be put into room 101 by her at some point during this?
Oh, absolutely. And the greatest thing is, I don't know which one of us it's going to be.
Oh, it's probably going to be me. Let's be real here. So we got mosquitoes, we got wasps. What are you doing here?
Oh,
are we still going insects, or are we moving away from insects?
Yes, I have insects.
Hmm.
Well, one. You know, there's like, when you're walking in the woods, or like a
there's
forest.
no one around, and you're.
Oh, let me just wait. Let me just get in the mood. I'm in the woods. One foot in front of the other. Crinkle, crinkle. The leaves under my feet. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, everything's nice. You're enjoying some time to yourself.
And out of the corner of your eye, you spot him.
Tiny flies. Tiny flies.
Are we talking? Wait, are we talking gnats or just small flies?
Like just like the small little flies, the tiny little minuscule things that just fly in your mouth, and they're just like everywhere, and you can't get away from them. And they always just like if you're like eating a sandwich in a park or something, they're just on your sandwich. You can't do anything about them.
Get out of my sandwich.
Yeah.
No. No.
I hate them so much.
Yeah, that's a good point. I equate that to like when you go to the beach and like you pack some sandwiches for the beach and they're in the cooler and then you take them out of the cooler and somehow immediately there is sand all over that fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
Sand in my sandwich.
It's more likely than you think.
Yeah, okay, but you say this. Tiny little minuscule flies, of which I'm sure there's a scientific name.
Probably.
They don't cause any active harm.
They don't, but they're annoying.
They cause active annoyance, yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
They're frustrating.
I will see your active annoyance, and I will raise you the active anxiety that you hear whenever you hear a wasp buzzing.
Oh, no, I understand. I understand that there is a very large difference in between, like, the pain that wasps and mosquitoes cause versus the annoyance, but I hate to be annoyed.
Really? You don't say.
That's a great point. Being annoyed is not happy.
No.
But I will add this to the mix, right? So Ellie has included these little flies because they're undetected until the moment
they
they've
are
caused
tongue-seeking.
annoyance. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They you don't even notice they're there until they're already in your mouth or on your sandwich, right? I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Brooks has countered with active pain and suffering as soon as you hear them coming.
Both psychologically and sometimes physically.
Exactly. I will now add the point that mosquitoes are the worst of both, where you don't even realize they're there until you feel the itch. And it's like, ah, shit, I've already been bit, it's too late. And I don't even know where the fucker is. He got away. With my blood.
Where's he
from
going
me.
With that blood?
Well,
What's he doing?
the female mosquitoes are the ones that bite. She stole from me. And has
Took
only
what was
left
rightfully
behind
yours.
And has only left behind pain and suffering.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
And I will not even be able to get revenge because she's already gone.
I think mosquitoes are actually quite a lot worse.
Don't they also carry, like, disease?
They do.
They have the potential to carry life-threatening disease. Not just, like, give you a cold. You could get malaria. You could get West Nile virus. You can get fucking anything from a mosquito.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, and you just have the good blood, I guess, where they just love me, I've known people that are blessed with, I guess, boring blood, and they just don't get bit. They don't have to put on bug spray, nothing. I will put on bug spray, and they don't care, because I guess I'm just that fucking delectable. And they just persist through the barrier and steal my life force from me.
I imagine your blood tastes kind of like ragu.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I've eaten so much fucking delicious Italian food that my blood is made of tomato paste. And
Ingredients were fresh pureed tomatoes, water, salt, and sodium benzoate used to retard spoilage. Once again, if I'm not mistaken, this boy contained tomato paste. Thank you, Nelson. I look forward to seeing him again next week.
But yeah, I would pivot that is the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, you know what? You got me there. I feel like wasps, if they gave you viruses and disease, I feel like they'd be the top one here. But no, you already have that in mosquitoes.
I mean, I also just feel like with wasps, at least they're larger insects, and for the most part, you can either see or hear them coming.
Very true.
With mosquitoes, it's just that you don't even realize they're there until you've already been bit.
Mosquitoes are creepy little espionage spies.
Yes, they're the worst.
They also always bite in the worst places.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I've had mosquito bites in between my fingers.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Yikes.
I've had it on the bottom of my foot.
Big oof.
They're just... Their whole goal is to ruin my week, because those things don't go away quickly.
No.
So, it seems like we're in agreement. Mosquitoes, you're getting locked in the room.
Goodbye, mozzies.
Bye.
Go fuck yourself, mosquitoes. So, I picked that category, so one of you pick the next one.
How about you pick something for once in your goddamn life?
Oh, I don't know. No.
You have a whole list here.
I do. I have a whole list.
Oh, there's some controversial meat here that we can get stuck into.
Should I get the TV one out of the way?
Oh boy, here we go. Name 2 more iconic pairings then: bitter chatter and television opinions.
Yes. So I'm gonna start off hot here and say the Simpsons should... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah? You wanna pursue that avenue? I say tread carefully.
No, I love The Simpsons, and while I was a bit mean to the show in our television tournament because I knew it didn't deserve to win, I do love the show, and I would never lock it in room 101. I actually don't know if I have something for this right away, so you guys should get yours going first.
I think we should just let the cat out of the bag immediately and go for what Ellie has to offer here, because I think it's going to make for some fun audio entertainment.
Okay.
Okay, so I have put Game of Thrones.
Okay, hold on. All right. Okay, I just need to let me just get up and stretch real quick. I'm gonna need to be limber for this.
Okay.
I don't know that this is. I didn't know that this is how today was gonna go.
Get ready, everybody. Pick your battle stations. It is time for an all-out war.
Okay, I got it. Oh yeah, get some.
I must say, I am impartial to this. So everyone knows my opinions about Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And I still find it hilarious that it lost in the first round to The Amazing World of Gumball.
That is
because of me, by the way.
Oh yeah, you were the deciding vote,
yeah.
weren't you?
That's right.
Okay, so how about we dig up some old wounds, shall we? I'm just gonna sit back and have popcorn here, please.
Oh no.
Venture forward, brave soul. Why are you putting Game of Thrones into room 101?
So there are several reasons.
Don't be afraid to articulate your opinions. We're not. He's the he. Carmine, you fucking behave, all right? Just hear them out.
I am perfectly calm right now.
Okay. So the first reason is the fact that it just fucking disappeared from the face of the earth. Like, it's like it didn't even happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it had... Everyone cared about it. And, like,
it's one of the biggest things on television.
Yeah, if you didn't watch it, like, who were you? And, like, if you didn't watch it, someone had an opinion about you not watching it. And then it ended, and suddenly, no one cared anymore.
Let me ask you this real quick. I am going to let you continue, but I just want to know, did you watch it as it was airing?
I watched one season, and that's all I could deal with because I'd read the first 3 books.
Okay, fair enough. Continue.
Yes. So, every time I brought up to a person that I only watched the first season, they had something to say about it, and they were just like, oh, you should watch it more. And I'm like, no, the first season was bad. No. I'm good, thank you. I've formed an opinion. I don't need to watch anymore. You can enjoy it, though. Fine. But then, like, it just ended, and suddenly no one cared anymore. And I worked in a store that had, like, a Game of Thrones section while it was airing.
Mhm.
And then it ended, and the sales of that section, like, just diminished, like, entirely. No one cared. Like, how does that happen? It might as well just not exist.
I see your point.
Yeah.
I'm approaching this peacefully. I'm just a little... You say you read the first 3 books, right?
Yes.
You enjoyed the books?
I did.
I'm surprised you didn't like the first season, because I am of the opinion that the first season is probably the single most book accurate season.
Yes, but they did my boy Khal Drogo die. I can't forgive them.
What, did something different happen to him in the books? I haven't read the books.
In the books, he was a lot better than he was in the series.
Fair enough. I can't hold an opinion on that since I haven't read the books. Fair enough.
Like, in the series, he's horrible. And then in the books, he's, like, less horrible. Still like, oh, that's a bad character. Oh. But, like, redeeming qualities. No redeeming qualities in the TV show. None. Other than he was hot. That's it.
I'll let you...
You got him there. He can't argue with that.
No.
Yeah, I will let you have that. So, your stance is that once it ended, it vanished to the sense that it might as well have never happened.
Yeah.
I'd say not only did it vanished because the, what would you call it? The reception? The backlash. The backlash to what had happened in the season was so tremendous. Not only did it cost the show creators the chance to direct a Star Wars movie, it pretty much just invalidated the entire zeitgeist around the television show.
Mm.
You could, I get the feeling you're going to make the argument that what TV show has remained popular after it ended?
Well,
I feel like that's where you're going.
It is no secret, we've said it before, or I've said it before, I don't hate the ending of Game of Thrones at all. I actually really liked it. Now, I do understand. I am probably 1 in a million, literally, that feels that way about the ending. And there's no possible way everyone else is just wrong. But I cannot justify some of the anger that ending caused. I feel like, and I've heard the specific opinions on why people don't like the endings, and I feel like it sometimes, well, very frequently comes down to literally not understanding a character. Like what we were saying off screen about the Loki finale. People complain that things that characters did were out of character, and I'm sitting there like, no. In fact, all 8 seasons were leading up to them making that choice. So, I just can't agree with the ending was bad argument, but that's not even where Ellie was really going with it, so I can't really argue with that.
No, because, right, I don't care if the ending was good or not, right? People's opinion on it is people's opinion on it. But the fact that so many people had the same opinion of, oh, it's terrible, and they just dropped it immediately, that, like, I like TV shows that have bad endings, bad last seasons. We just forget the last season exists, but we still love it.
And this is coming from someone who enjoys Supernatural.
Yes. I did not watch after, like, season 11. I want to watch the last 4 seasons.
Season
but
11,
I don't
there's
really...
15. There's 15
I know,
seasons of queer baiting.
I know. But the point is, it probably ended terribly. Like,
we know it did.
There were, like, points of the ending that people are not happy with, but people still love that show. It's still, like, it's still talked about.
Is it?
Another poignant example, I think, would be Dexter.
Yeah.
That television show had a particularly nasty ending which soured everybody, and yet that is getting a new limited run on a new television
I feel
network.
like
So
I feel
that's not dead.
I can understand Ellie's process here because I feel like usually when a show has an ending that most people say is bad, one of two things will happen. Either they hold that opinion through the end of time, for example, How I Met Your Mother. No one's
Oof.
opinion on that ending has changed.
Oh yeah.
Or eventually they either ease up or completely come around. For example, The Sopranos. When that
Also a
show
good point.
originally ended, everyone hated it. But now if you ask people about it, you'll either get like a or, yeah, you know what, it's actually not such a bad ending. But I cannot think of another show where it ended, people didn't like the ending, and then they just stopped talking about it. And I cannot argue with that. So I was sitting here ready to go to bat, but I really don't have anything to say against that.
No, because my criticism isn't of the show itself. I'm like,
Yeah.
people like what they like. But it's just like, why does it exist?
Yeah, that's a fair
And this
point.
brings up a question that I want to ask is, you're putting this into Room 101, which means that any of the good contributions that Game of Thrones has had to society at large will also be put in there.
But I don't
Do
think
you
it had any
Okay, so
big...
yeah, you don't think it had any big, long-lasting, worthwhile contributions to anything regarding how television is made, how fandom is perceived, anything like that?
Not particularly.
Interesting.
Now, I will just say this as a point that we might be able to come back to later as we add more things to this discussion for this category. Your point is that the show might as well have never existed because people have just forgotten about it.
Yes.
If we nominate something else that I deem needs to go away, I will vote for that over this purely because it sounds like the job that Room 101 is meant to do is kind of already been done.
I mean, yeah, technically you're right, but, like, do it twice. Why not?
We'll see. That might be
Double
necessary.
tap.
I don't know if it will
Double
be.
tap
Double
that
tap.
bitch. Because I am still seeing, in the reduced to clear sections of pop vinyls, all of these dragons and Khal Drogo figures and Viserys figures. I'm just like, bruh, you won't die.
Yeah.
Why won't you die?
They've reduced all of the merch so much, and it refuses to go because no one wants it
No
anymore.
one's buying it.
I'll actually add to your point here a minute. If anything, because this is only talking about television, if we erase the show, just the show, and then the books finish, because they're not done yet, then the books are left, according to some, untainted. So,
yeah.
There's a point. So, Brooks, do you have anything to nominate?
I'm nominating a genre rather than a specific heat-seeking missile directed towards something in particular.
Bold.
I'm instead voting that we nuke the entire genre of reality television.
I was leaning that way, and then I sort of came up with something else more specific, but talk to me about this.
So, reality television, it can be presented in a variety of mediums. The bare bones of what I'm looking at here are television shows such as Big Brother, Love Island.
Okay.
Things in that vein, where it's regular normal people put into a scenario where there are cameras filming them, and they are even given actions, or they are just told to exist in a certain location for a certain amount of time.
One that all three of us have watched is RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race. See, the thing that I have against reality television as a
It's a
genre is it can be irritating from the outside and also the inside if you've watched any of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
It can be... It's an oxymoron.
Yeah,
Let's
it's a
get
lot.
that out of the way first, because a lot of what is considered part of the reality television genre is entirely staged and set up and manipulated behind the scenes, so that
Yeah.
everything that you're seeing is just a construction of someone else's idea.
Someone behind the camera will ask you a question, you'll give your answer, and then they'll make it look like you're actually answering to something else in the editing process, that you're actually being meaner than you originally intended.
Be it at the behest of whoever's behind all of the string pulling.
Right.
I would venture to say that reality television as a whole does more harm than it does good.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because, say for example, let's look at Big Brother for a sec.
Now, I've never seen this show. What is it exactly?
You don't know about Big Brother?
I know it exists. I've heard of it. I don't really know the actual premise, though.
I used to be big into it when I was a kid, but basically the premise is that you have a house, the Big Brother house, full of cameras, full of CCTV, and you insert a group of about, I think, maybe 13 or 14 people into this house, where they live, and they are overseen by Big Brother, which is a voice that speaks throughout the house.
Fitting for our 1984 idea here.
Yeah, I think it is literally taken from that. And then you have weeks in the house where there are themes, there are contests, there are tasks that you have to accomplish, some with rewards, like luxury food items, some with punishments, like you are given beans for the
I
week.
thought you said bees.
Yeah.
The bees are let into the house.
You have to dunk your head in a tank of bees.
Yeah. And the point being is that you have all of these random just mix of people that are put into this house for, I think it's about 3 months. Like, and around that time period. And then everything is broadcast live to an audience. Generally, you'll have a live feed that can be seen, where it is 24/7 viewing and monitoring of the house. And then there will be specific episodes that take clips and highlights from the past, say, 24 hours, and then that is shown to the people. And the way people get eliminated is by getting evicted from the house, which is voted for by the public.
Oh, God.
You can kind of see where this all goes.
Yeah, a big,
Producers
bad
will
popularity
take
contest.
They will take the biggest mix of either normal people. Very rarely they'll have maybe one normal person in there just to be the normal person. And then you have big personalities like posh people, poor people, people from all walks of life. But if you put them all in a house together, things are bound to get interesting.
Right.
And then if you put that all under the form of public scrutiny, you can maybe see where it goes to the point of mental health being involved. And it not being a good thing for anybody involved.
Fair enough. I see where that's going, and nothing
there have
to
been some
argue
very
with there.
dark results thanks to reality television. Their lives have been lost, unfortunately, based around reality television shows. And for me, I see that there's unless you can name an example of a reality television show that has caused good and is actual enjoyable entertainment to watch, I'll maybe reconsider. But if you can't, then I think it's worth saying.
The best I can come up with, one that I used to watch when I was a kid with my parents was one called, I don't know if you guys had it in the UK, but we had a show called The Biggest Loser.
Oh, we have that.
yeah.
It's horrible.
I hate it so much.
It's so bad. You get a group of fat people, you put them on TV, yell at them, tell them that they're fat and they're horrible and they're ugly and they're stupid, and put that in front of like a viewing audience.
They just get
Did you
mentally
guys-
abused.
Did you guys have your own version of it, or was it just the
No.
one that
No,
we
it was
aired?
an adaptation of your show.
But that's what I mean. Like, was it the one that we aired, or you did your own?
Yes, it was your version.
Okay. Because
We
I
also had
remember.
our version as well, didn't we?
Yeah, later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mum used to like The Biggest Loser, and I remember watching with her and being like, "This is disgusting."
Because I remember like an early season where it started off like they were being genuinely motivational, and then it did pivot towards what you're talking about of just like yelling at them, and it's like, what happened here?
Why would anyone sign up to be on this?
Yeah, it was very quickly like, this sucks.
Mm.
But a good thing that I feel came out of reality TV is parodies of reality TV, such as Total Drama Island.
Mhm.
But that's about it. Like, actual reality TV shows, I cannot think of one that's been, like, good.
I mean, like, I like The Circle. I don't
Yeah,
think
Yessie
there's
likes The Circle, too.
anything, like, particularly bad about that show. They're generally, like, looked after. The
This is the
public
one
are
where
horrible to them.
this is
but-
the one where they're all in like a tower block and they're pretending to be other people, right?
Well, they can pretend to be other people,
Right,
or
right.
they can be themselves. But yeah, they're all in different, like, apartments, and they communicate to each other via, like, just chats and stuff. But it is all very, very, like, scripted, and you're told who to talk to, and for how long, and how many chats you have. But they all know that before they go in. Like, everything is just like, oh, you will be told to do this, you will do this on this day.
It's
they
like
have, like,
wrestling
a schedule.
in a weird way. It's like there's a collective kayfabe about it all.
I was
It's the-
literally about
like-
to say that wrestling
Yeah.
is reality TV.
yeah,
100%.
like I don't know. I find that kind of facetious.
But then wrestling is facetious.
I never said it wasn't.
I know. But I'm just like, wrestling is reality TV.
Yeah.
In a sense.
It is. It's
I feel like-
sports reality TV.
I feel like even the quote-unquote good ones of reality TV eventually shift towards the side that sucks. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you could make an argument that something like RuPaul's Drag Race started off as a more positive version of what reality TV is.
Well, I feel like that's more of a talent-based show than
But
it
it's
is.
reality TV.
Yes, it's reality TV, but there's different subgenres within that whole
Yeah,
collective.
Yeah, but we
You
are just
have
talking about
said
reality TV as a whole.
TV.
Well, RuPaul's Drag Race isn't good anymore, so
Oh,
That's
I
what
know,
I'm saying.
it's
But
not.
that's
any
the
of
point
its
I was.
versions, any of
That
RuPaul's Drag Race UK, Canada, Australia, Singapore,
that's
North
that's exact-
Sentinel Island.
that's yeah, that's the point I was trying to make. Is that it's you could argue that it started off as a good thing, or at least a more positive version of reality TV. But then by I would say at the latest, we can all agree season 11, just fuck it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just became what every other reality TV show is, where it's like, this is so painfully, obviously scripted. It's not interesting. We know what's going to happen. And you're just making us wait
I
for
remember
the inevitable.
the thing with RuPaul's Drag Race that really, really got me was the UK version. Where
I
it
never
got
actually
to-
saw that.
Oh, so it got to the final 3, and it was obvious from, like, maybe the second, third episode that one of them would win.
I think it was obvious even before the premiere, honestly.
Yeah, to be honest.
That everyone thought that the winner of that season would be the 1-2 win.
Yeah, but they were not the fan favorite. They were not the favorite to win, but they still won, and everyone was just like, no, no,
Now we're done here.
yeah, I don't want this. So it was really weird because, like, after that season ended, the runner-up got all of the attention,
Yeah.
and then the winner was just like on some radio shows and stuff. But that was it. We didn't care about her. Like,
Damn.
she's very talented. Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about her, but, like, no.
She's not the people's choice.
No.
It's not the people's champ, you jabroni beating. Ah, biting. Better work.
And then there's the whole thing about Rue himself and all that shit. So, but okay, it's really hard to argue against anything that either of you two have said. And my nomination for this category pales in comparison, because I'm just putting in a genre of shows I don't like, and it's crime dramas like Law and Order and shit like that.
I don't
think-
even watch those because they just seem so boring to me.
They're boring. They're repetitive. It's the exact same thing every episode. Hey, Fade from Black. A woman in a park gets stabbed and or dragged into a bush, and then everybody in the office of all our lovable cops they get a call and they find her, and we got killed in the loose. I'm Ice-T.
Looks
And
like
then-
they've had a bush with death Yeah.
And then there's the nerdy tech character that's sitting behind the computer going, I found the killer. He's over 34th Street. And then Ice-T
He's over there.
Kicks down the door and it's like, you're under arrest. And I don't know why he had a baby voice. You're under arrest. And
You have every right to remain silent.
And then that's now we do it again next week. It's just the same. I hate it, but there's not much that's like harming society in that genre, like what you've said about reality TV shows. And there's not much in it that's just like empty nothingness, like what Ellie said about Game of Thrones. So I feel like mine is the weakest nominee here. I just don't like that genre.
I would say there are some good crime dramas.
I understand your opinion. I disagree.
No, but it's only the crime dramas that do not go with that kind of formula, like How to Get Away with Murder.
Somehow I knew that was going to be what you were going to say.
That's brilliant, because it's about them
Getting
dealing
away with murder.
with crimes and their own crimes, but also being like, I'm training to be a lawyer.
And I killed a man.
I killed someone. I have a couple people.
Help.
Oh no. It's great. It's a bit batshit, but wonderful.
Fair enough.
But the formula
I grew up.
ones are terrible.
I grew up in a house where my parents both love every single fucking crime drama that comes out, and it was just on all the goddamn time. And if I hear that Law and Order dum dum one more fucking time,
Give me your fucking money.
I'm going to explode. I was going to nominate a specific show, but somewhere in the discussion of reality TV shows, you reminded me of crime drama. I don't even know how. I was going to nominate the show 24, which I don't know if either of you know about that show.
Jack Bauer.
Jack Bauer. I have.
You would want to nominate that for Room 101, huh?
I have a very specific reason, and it's not rational.
See, this is interesting because I don't think I've ever heard you talk about this show.
Because I hate it, and it's not rational, and I understand this. Again, my parents loved this show. For anyone who doesn't know what the show is, because I don't think it airs anymore, this is a show where the premise is this super cool guy named Jack Bauer has a really bad day, and there's some sort of terrorist threat, and the season is 24 episodes long, and every episode is like real time, and it's an hour long. It's a cool premise.
You intersperse it with a countdown that's like, doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
So that is where I'm going with this.
You hate the countdown from 24?
Hear me. It's not rational, but hear me out. So, at the time that this show was in its prime, we lived in a house where the layout of this house was, imagine my bedroom, like you're looking at the blueprint of the house, right? There's my bedroom, and it shares a wall with the living room. And the television was up against that wall, as was, on the other side, my bed.
Oh,
And
no.
I was young when this came out, so I was asleep when it was on air. And my parents were watching it loudly.
Oh.
And every week, I would be trying to sleep, and I would just hear, bah, 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 every 15 minutes or so.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's actually hilarious.
No, that's
And I
so
just-
sad.
I don't care if the show's good. I don't care if Jack Bauer's cool. I don't care if the premise is great. I don't like it.
It's okay.
You know what? Fuck everything I've said. I want to put the countdown from 24 into Room 101. Because that's just funny to me. Is it like this very specific part of a television show is going into Room 101 because it kept you up at night?
For some reason, that fucking countdown was louder than any of the guns, explosions, the action in the show. That fucking countdown, I don't know if it was because the combination, it had this like, there were two layers to the sound in the countdown. There was the high pitch, bah, 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 and then underneath it was this, bah, 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 bah. So the fucking vibrations of the bassy part were shattering through my wall, and then
We'll
the
play
pitch.
it now for anyone who hasn't heard it before.
Go for it.
There you go.
And then that pitch was just like piercing. There was no escape.
It was piercing your veil.
And it was right up against the fucking wall that I was sleeping next to.
But also, it would have been at, like, commercial,
Every commercial break, as they went to commercial, it would play, and when they come back from commercial,
but
it would play.
be that volume as well, because it's, like, made to signal a commercial break. So it's, like, louder than the rest of the show.
It sucked! It was the worst. It's like a PTSD experience for me. I will never watch that show. Ever. I don't care how good it is. It could be the greatest television show ever made. And I'm missing a glorious, euphoric part of my life by not watching it. I don't care. Fuck that show.
I'm very tempted now to just get the entirety of 24 on DVD, go into it, and edit out the countdown noise. Just replace it with like the Monty Python intermission music or something. I have to save my daughter.
It's just, and every week my parents were like, "Oh my god, Jack Bauer, did you see what he did this week? Oh my god,
He shot a woman in the kneecaps."
And all I could think is bip, bip, bip. And I've told my parents this, and they just laugh. They think it's funny. I'm sitting there like, it's not
hilarious,
funny.
bro.
I couldn't fucking sleep, Mom!
I am with you in the it's not hilarious.
I want to put it in a room 101 because that's a funny thing.
Your reasoning is so horrible.
I don't care. It's our show.
I hate you.
We make the rules.
I mean, listen, it wasn't even my official nomination, but if we're leaning towards this, I am more than willing to throw Jack Bauer and his shitty fucking countdown into this room, never to be seen
Throw
again.
the countdown clock in the room 101.
No, we'll just put it in there. We can lock it away. It's soundproof in there. It's fine.
that works for me. Jesus, I didn't think. I honestly, after the reality TV show discussion, I didn't think anything else.
You're
was gonna
appealing to a very significant part of my personality, wherein I will enact on anything if it's funny to me. For me, putting a sound into Room 101 is funny.
Well, 2 out of 3 agree. Ellie, what do you think?
Oh, I agree. We should put it in there because it's like horrific that you have sound PTSD, and I know what that's like. It's not nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I didn't see this coming, but the countdown sound from 24. Go fuck yourself.
Let's hear it one more time. There you go.
So
Great.
mean.
Can I pick a category next?
Yeah, it is your turn.
Alright. I'm thinking we go with the category of the internet.
Oh.
Because I feel like we're going to get some pretty good mileage out of this one.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as the category picker, why don't you go first? What are you throwing in there?
I think I'm going to nominate a pretty universal thing that we can all agree deserves a place in Room 101.
Yes.
And that is shock videos, also known as screamers.
Ah.
We're
Jump
all familiar
scares?
with this. We have seen a video at one point where a car is driving through a lovely wooded area. And then it cuts to the skyline, and then, BAM! Zombie comes in and screams the fuck out of the screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a viral video for a while.
For a long while, yeah.
Yep.
Shock
Sometimes
videos
it makes
can
the
also
rounds
be
again.
categorized under the branches of 2 girls, 1 cup.
Ooh, okay, so we're going broad.
1
with
guy,
this.
1 jar.
Oh god, you know what? I saw that one, and that was the last time I was like, I'm never looking at one of these blank things again. I'm never doing that again, because that one I think is worse than 2 girls, 1 cup.
It is. It is significantly worse.
You'll never
if you
unhear
don't-
the popping sound.
Oh.
If you don't know what it is, just keep it that way. I'm not going to explain it. Just don't.
We
don't.
won't. We won't.
No.
We won't. You're a big boy. You can go out and look for it yourself, but don't.
Just don't.
Meat spin,
Yeah, I saw that one too.
lemon party,
I never saw that one, and I'm going to keep it that way.
goatsy,
Fuck Goatsy. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, wait,
scary
Goatsy.
maze.
Now, hold on. Goatsy, isn't that just an image?
Yeah.
So then we could also include things like, I'm going to say the words, and it's blue waffle?
Oh,
Yeah.
The genre of things on the internet that you send under the guise of it being something else, and then it shakes you to your core because it's scary, it's horrifying, it's just... Ugh. It
Yeah.
breaks you. And it's mean, and it's horrible, and there is no good reason as to why it should be a thing. There's no net positives that come from Blue Waffle.
Yeah, the only arguable positives is if you're a mean person and you enjoy tricking people and ruining their day.
Well, then you go into the room with it too.
Yeah,
We'll shove you in
can't-
there with it.
I can't argue with that. I hate those things.
Because those have legitimately given me a good portion of my mental health problems, I'm gonna say. Not gonna front, I think, but it's made me the reason why I jump at so many loud noises.
oh,
Yeah,
probably.
I jump at jump scares easily, so things like that have always been like a thorn in my side.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone jumps at jump scares though, because they're made to make you jump.
Yeah, but
And
there
it
are
works very well on me specifically.
No, but it works on like pretty much everyone. If they don't work on you, then like something's wrong.
You're a sociopath.
Yeah, no, it's
Hi, Ellen.
really, really hard to argue with that. Okay, sure. I'm absolutely willing to consider that one. Mine is a little bit more personal because I know this doesn't bother everybody. But
This
I would
one YouTube video with a 24 countdown timer.
It's just a 10-hour long video of the countdown sound. No,
That exists, I'm sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it does. I guarantee there's someone out there that thinks that sound is soothing. Like,
Oh
they-
yeah, there's,
Yeah.
there's some weird audio files out there that are just like, ooh, it's music to my ears.
Yeah, I go to sleep to this
doo-doo.
sound. Meanwhile, it caused the exact opposite for me. But
It kept
No.
me up.
yeah, my nomination here is spoiler comments or
Hmm.
anything where, because I've noticed that specifically on TikTok, people don't give a fuck about spoiling things. As soon as something is released, there will be thousands of TikToks about it, showing the most crucial spoiler in the entire program. It without fail. They don't care. And it's worse in the anime community, but it's global. It's universal. They'll post fucking manga spoilers, which is like only a percentage of this fan base reads the fucking manga. What are you doing? But it happened with Loki, happened with every Marvel series. It happens all the time. Whether it's a comment, a video, a picture, it doesn't matter. They will spoil it immediately. And I feel like the threshold, it's a big problem on TikTok, but I feel like it's becoming a bigger problem everywhere else as a result. The threshold, the time limit that people are giving for these things is shrinking at an exponential rate, and soon it will no longer exist. It's going extinct. It's becoming, for me, I hate spoilers. Spoilers are one of my personal biggest pet peeves. I cannot stand it because I don't always have the luxury of watching something immediately. As most adults are discovering that problem, sometimes you just have to wait a couple days or a couple weeks to see a thing because you just don't have the time right now. And when you're just casually scrolling through TikTok and then you just see, I'm going to give a spoiler for episode, I think it was 4 of Loki right now. And if you haven't seen it, skip ahead like 30 seconds because it's not going to take a long time. Starting now. After that episode came out, I saw a TikTok. Immediately, the text just said, Sylvie watching Loki getting pruned right before her eyes. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, sometimes a TikTok with a spoiler will have, like, cover text, like, it'll say spoiler warning on top of it, and then a few seconds into the video, it'll go away. He didn't do that. Not even close. It just immediately. And your first instinct is to read what's on screen. So it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? The episode came out today! What is wrong with you? I cannot stand spoilers. Like, why do you go out of your way? And there's a lot of opinions like, oh, spoilers don't actually ruin the experience. I don't give a fuck. I want to be surprised when the thing happens, because that's the point. Like, just let me. That's my rant on spoilers. I know it's a personal thing. Not everybody has this much of a problem with it, but that is my nomination. Spoilers on the internet can go fuck themselves.
I just want to say, as a person who doesn't care about spoilers, back in the Tumblr days, if you watched an episode of Supernatural, you tagged your spoilers. You put your opinions in a read more. You were like, you did everything to prevent other people from seeing it. Because you were like, no, I've watched this. People might not have watched it yet. And I don't care about spoilers. Like, it's just common courtesy.
That's the thing. There's like no fucking etiquette around spoilers anymore. It's like going away, and I don't understand. There was barely etiquette before. There were already assholes since before the internet. But like, it's just rapidly degenerating, and I don't understand it.
See, for me, it depends on the context. Obviously, I agree with everything you said. Like, 100%, you are correct. What do you think of people like me, and you've said that yes, you do this, wherein we will, occasionally, if we plan on watching something, we will we'll go forward in time with the TVA, and we'll look at how things end, or how certain characters end up, just to see where it goes.
Now,
just to see sometimes. You got mad at me for that recently, in regards to My Hero Academia.
I don't even
in
remember
that
what
I
you looked up in
know
My Hero.
the end game for certain characters, and you're like, why do you know that? And I'm like, I looked it up, because I wanted to know.
Now,
What do you think of that?
That part of me is not entirely rational. I understand deep down it's your prerogative if you want to look for the spoilers. That's entirely
Only with
up
certain
to you.
contexts. Sometimes I do want to be surprised. But sometimes I just can't help myself. It's a worse feeling knowing that the information is out there and I can't access it until, like, months ahead, where I could just literally do a Google search right now and see, oh, this happens.
You do it a lot with things that I've watched that you then watch.
Yeah.
So that I don't accidentally, like, spoil anything for you.
I mean, if anything, I'm doing you a service.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Now,
Takes
I
the
will
pressure
say,
off people.
like
And then I
you
accidentally
said,
spoiled something for you, and you weren't mad for some reason.
Me?
Yes.
What was this?
Remember when I said that one guy killed that one guy? And you were like, I didn't know that. And I was like, I'm going to commit suicide now. That's the only way out of this.
In which
Out of
series
this
was this?
social faux pas.
Which series was this?
My Hero.
I don't even remember what it was.
You know what? That's good. That's fine.
There
That's
we go.
absolutely okay then.
Oh! No, I actually forgot it. I kind of remember the discussion, but
Oh, wait, I forgot.
I remember the conversation, but I don't remember what the thing was, so I'll just leave it.
That's fine. That's good. Let's keep it that way.
But yeah, I like surprises to the point where I want others to also be surprised by the things that surprised me.
Surprises are very nice, and it's good to share that experience with someone. I get that. With
I
Brawl
love
nowadays.
I love
because I surprise you with things, and it's nice.
Right. I love the feeling of like watching something and then having the moment of, oh shit! Like that's one of my favorite experiences watching something. So when people take that away from me,
the wham line, the wham cut, the wham reveal.
So when people take that away from me, it upsets me, and I also want others to experience it the same way. So when they take it away from themselves, it's more of a feeling of like, why'd you do that? Why would you take that away from yourself?
Because I am in control of my own destiny.
Which is, you know, at the end of the day, that one is fine. Like, it's your choice to do that. But when people do it for you, that's what upsets me. So I'll use another example here, and this is spoilers for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3. Again, skip ahead about 30 seconds because it's not going to take a long time. I was on YouTube one day, well, also I guess Part 2. I was watching the death scene of Caesar Zappelli because that scene just resonates with me every single time I watch it, and I'm a masochist. And then, on the related videos on the side, I see two videos right next to each other. One says,
Spoilers.
death scene, but with Caesar's theme. And the other says,
Spoilers.
death scene, but with Caesar's theme. Now, what the fuck? I understand that has been out for a while, and I'm just now getting into it. But, like, really?
There's a fine difference between something like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Black Widow. Like, a larger majority of the commercial zeitgeist are going to have seen Black Widow compared to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There's sort of like a bubble within any sort of niche media wherein you protect people from the outside looking in for spoilers.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
I know
I'm
that
surprised I managed to get through a majority of JoJo's without being spoiled.
I ran into a lot of death spoilers, unfortunately. Like, I knew about those two. I didn't know about...
Spoilers.
So that was a fun one.
That was... you lied to me.
Me?
Yes, you lied to me about that.
I tend to do that because to avoid the spoilers. I'll be like, yeah, he's back. Hey, nothing happened to him. He's fine.
You actively give me lies. You feed me misinformation because you know that what happens,
Mhm.
and it will emotionally cripple me. I take it personally that you do nothing to soften the blow. If anything, you make it worse.
Because
Look at...
Spoilers.
Isn't he the greatest guy ever? Oh, there's a...
Spoilers.
I like having people experience a surprise, so I
At least
lead
crying.
I lead them in
At
the
least
opposite.
crying because of what you did to me.
I'm upset.
But I know that there's this like wide held belief of like after X amount of time you can talk about it freely, and I get that.
Even then, with some media, you don't. But then again, some media, like, you only know the twist. Like, Sixth Sense.
Right, there are some that are
And Planet of the
universally-
Apes. You know that shot of the Statue of Liberty in the sand is meant to be like a big twist? They use
Right.
that in fucking promotional DVD covers now.
Right.
So who cares anymore? I don't care if it came out in the 60s. Like, preserve the narrative.
There are some that, at this point, the spoiler is the pop culture reference. You know what I mean? Like, and with those, fine. But you can't just assume that a spoiler has become one of those. Like, there are some that we just know, right? Like The Sixth Sense, Planet of the Apes, the one from Harry Potter that I'm a little too scared to actually say just in case.
Well, there's a fair few from Harry Potter that could fall into that.
The one that involves
Oh,
Gandalf.
you mean Snape kills Dumbledore? Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
There was
But-
one that I was going to bring. Oh yeah, you know that film, The Usual Suspects?
I know of it. I've never seen it.
It's the one with Kaiser Soze.
Sure.
Everyone knows who Kaiser Soze is. It's Kevin Spacey.
Right.
But the entire fucking point of that movie is that you don't know who he is, and it's a big fucking surprise. But no, everyone's just carte blanche. Like, I remember that movie, Kaiser Soze, ha ha ha, it's Kevin Spacey. Like,
Or
And
like
that's
Fight
why I'm
Club.
never going to see that movie now, because everyone's ruined it for me. I don't care anymore.
But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like because there are movies that while everyone has seen them, it seems I haven't, and I don't know what happens in it. But it's been out for so long that people talk about it freely, and that's not their fault.
It's like if I told you who Ghostface Killer was in Scream.
Right.
Like, you've not seen it. But
No, I
me
don't
and Ellie
know.
both have, and we know who it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're not going to tell you, because we feel like you benefit from not knowing that going in.
Right. And it's hard to, some movies have been so widely viewed that, like, it's hard to know if someone hasn't seen it, but maybe just fucking ask. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no spoiler etiquette anymore. And I don't like
agree.
it.
The lack of spoiler etiquette is a candidate for Room 101, okay.
So, that's mine. Ellie, what do you got?
Ellie, what do you got?
Mine is very specific, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is minors, so anyone under the age of 18, in spaces they should not be in, and then getting mad about the things they have seen.
Okay, give me a more specific example of this.
So, like, in like spaces where kink is involved,
Right.
right? Like drawings or something, and then being and then it clearly being like, this is 18 plus, please do not view this.
Right.
Which is a
Unless
giant
you are-
penis.
Unless you are over 18, please do not like interact with me. If you're under 18, like if you're under 18, I will block you. Things like that, right?
Because you don't belong here.
Yeah. And
It's
then
not for you.
people who are 15 going in, having a look because they're curious, and then seeing it, being like, oh, I don't think that's okay. My tiny little brain, that is not fully formed yet, cannot comprehend. I do not like it. So rather than just going, oh, I don't like it, I'm not going to look at it anymore, like most people, they go, oh, I don't like it, therefore, I am going to just start a witch hunt on the internet.
Send death threats.
Send death threats.
Mm.
And it happens so much to people that I follow online, and I'm so sick of it. And I'm just like, stop! This place is not for you. Please leave.
Yeah, I'm wondering, how does that play out? Because I haven't really witnessed this happen a lot. So, like, all right, a minor walks into a bar. A minor walks into an 18 plus.
Ouch. What a long face.
A minor walks into an 18 plus area and sees something that's not for them, and they get mad and start a witch hunt. How do people respond to that? Because I feel like the rational response is, well, duh, child, it's not for you. We're not gonna witch hunt someone because you did something you weren't supposed to.
Well, this is the thing.
The audience for witch hunts is also children.
Yes.
Hmm.
So they see it and they're like, oh, I don't agree with this either. But they can't be like, oh, I will just not look at it. So they also are like, oh, this person is a disgusting person, so I'm going to make their life hell. Sometimes they, like, get doxxed and stuff like that. For stuff, like, it was clearly not meant for you. Why are you here? It's like being a convention and going into an 18 plus section when you're not meant to be there. Like, you're gonna see stuff you don't want to see. Get out. It's for your safety. It's for, like, a creator's safety. It's for everyone's safety. Like, I don't understand. And it's something that I just see so much.
Brum, brum, brum. Fuck.
But
There
it
in the
just-
mom's
it just-
car.
Ugh, it just annoys me so much. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way that you could police having minors on the internet, but it's kind of a double-edged sword with the nature of the internet. It's like we said in one of the internet episodes, is that there is every single bit of information you could ever possibly have online at one space all the time, every time, never stops, and everyone can access it.
Yes.
It's both good, because it's a wealth of knowledge, but it's also bad, because 12-year-olds can Google blue waffle.
Right. Sometimes I feel
And
like
then you can also instigate witch hunts against people just doing their job, creative job, and then ruining people's lives because I'm young and I shouldn't be seeing this thing. It's like
That's
that.
your
What was that
fault.
meme from Arthur where like DW's looking at the
Like,
door and
I
it's like,
can't read.
I can't read. That won't stop me from
Literally,
going in.
It's literally that, because like people will post links, right? So they people artists have gotten like pretty good at like safeguarding their work. So they'll like post a preview of it on Twitter that's like nice, wonderful, and then they'll post a link so that you have to be following their account to access what they've drawn. But then, like, but they have to do the work of making sure that minors don't follow them. They have to be like, oh, can you please put your age in your bio? Can you please, like, make sure that you are over 18? They have to do the work in blocking minors. I'm like, just, if you're a minor, don't be in that place.
Right.
Just don't.
And then you could even run into the scenario where they are a minor and they just lie and say they're
Oh, that
not.
happens so much.
Right.
And it's
then it's like,
disgusting.
you got in trouble. I'm going to get you in trouble because I lied about my age.
Yeah. It
I'm
makes...
gonna report you to the cyber police.
It's horrible, and it shouldn't happen, and it happens way too often.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna do here. I hate spoilers. I have a personal vendetta against spoilers. What was Brooks? We've talked about so many things here. I actually forgot.
Oh, screamers and shock sites.
Those also suck. Neither of them actively harm people, so I'm gonna.
Hey, screamers and shock sites actively harm people. We've gone over that.
Well, not
Mentally.
to the point of. Yeah, well, not quite the same.
Fucks people up.
I suppose, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that Ellie's nominee is a little bit more directly harmful.
We're putting minors into Room 101.
Minors
Yes!
on the internet in places they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Okay, goodbye, children.
Goodbye,
You're all
I hate
gone.
you.
Goodbye, stupid children.
Goodbye, I
Oh.
hate you.
I
Okay, well, bye-bye, children. You've lived short
Never to be
lives.
seen again.
They're over now.
do.
So let's see. All right, well, before we go to our next category, I think this is a good time to hit up an ad break. So let's see which sponsor we will prevent from going into Room 101.
Sorry!
Okay, well, that one's safe.
Isn't it weird how it's always the same sponsor?
You don't have to call me out like that.
Every single time.
Hey, all right. You fucking... Hey, people, go find us some other people that want to pay us to say their names.
Wait, can I give you like £1?
To do what?
Just
Yes, give me
just-
money.
uh,
You haven't said what you're giving for. You just said, do you want money? I'm like, yes, give me money. That's the end of the deal.
you can just like, I don't know.
You haven't thought this through, have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't got anything to promote.
Go to Jelly Pop Shop. on Etsy.
Oh yeah, you can do me my first ever ad for that.
There you
This
go.
episode of Bit of Chatter is brought to you by Jelly Pop Shop. Literally.
God damn you. God
You haven't
damn
heard of
you.
Jelly Pop Shop? Let me tell you what, it is the best Etsy store to get stuff. What do you sell?
I don't even know anymore.
Great. You want a mystery purchase of something we don't even know what it is? You can go to Jelly Pop Shop on Etsy.
I might have prints soon.
She might have the possibility of having prints is as good a marketing as any.
Maybe.
Come to the Apple store. We might have iPhones.
There will be of one person.
She might have Prince. She might have Michael Jackson. Bad joke. Let's just move
We're done
on.
with this bit now.
Let's just move on and get away from
You
everything.
have to ruin it with your Animaniacs fucking shit.
Well, that's great though.
Alright, what category is going now?
Let's see. We have a few here, and I think the one I'm gonna pick is sports. I feel like
Sports!
sports. Everybody, big trunks.
Sports.
Sports.
E.
E E E E.
Old MacDonald had a farm. E. Sports.
I don't like much in terms of sport. I like one sport, and it is American football, aka
Good old fashioned gridiron.
Yeah.
Well, we have a grinder.
I'm sorry.
Grinder, the sub people meet football hero.
Yeah.
Subway.
Continue?
Eat fresh. Spubby. E freef.
So I only like the one sport. So there's a lot in sports I don't like. And while there are many sports I don't even really know that much about, and
What you know about shot put and javelin?
like, cricket.
Cricket seems like one of the most boring sports to me, and yet it's like a national pastime of this country.
It can last days.
I've heard it can last up to like
It's
5
like an episode of
days.
24.
Ugh. Just every round, whatever increment of thing you do in cricket, it's just beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Lovely day for cricket. Beep. But the sport I know about and would like to get rid of is something that's probably going to get me kicked out of my own country, and it's baseball.
Fetch a baseball.
Now, I'll say this to baseball's credit.
Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, going in person to a baseball game can be an enjoyable experience. But only in the same way that sitting next to a pool is an enjoyable experience. If you go with people you like, and you can have fun conversation with them and eat good food, you'll have a good time. Otherwise, there's not much to look at. Watching baseball on TV is about the most mind-numbing experience in the world of sports that I can think of. Have either of you ever watched baseball?
It's not
No.
really a thing in this country.
Right. Be glad
It's not
for
really
that.
branched out here very well.
Be glad for that. Be happy that you don't have to sit every fucking year through 160 fucking days of just nonsense. So I'll start with this. The baseball season is excruciatingly long. In football, in American football, the season is 17 games long, and then you get the postseason, which is 4 weeks long. It's not that much. In basketball, I think they play like 86 games, something like that. In baseball, they play 160 games in the regular season. And then in the postseason, every round is a best of 7.
That's a lot of baseball.
That's a lot of baseball. It's too much baseball. And then
Baseball overload. I'm into that. I'm good to go.
Jaggers. You add the fact...
baseball, you know I go.
I don't know, none of those was words. Then you add the fact that the game itself is nothing.
The game is nothing.
It's nothing. If you don't know the structure of a baseball game, let me lay it out for you real quick.
You hit the ball with the bat and you run to third, second, third, fourth base. That's a home run.
Yep. Every team takes 9 turns. Each team takes 9 turns going up to bat, and you get 3 outs, which are determined by either catching a ball before it hits the ground or throwing 3 strikes per at-bat. It's so slow. It's so dull. Even when a ball gets hit, there's a brief moment of, oh my god, something happened! And then either it gets caught and everyone goes, or a guy gets to first base or second base maybe, and then you wait for the next guy to do the same process. And there are so many times where just an inning will go by and nothing happened just at all. Because here's the thing, in a drive of football that ends with no points, at least in a drive that ends with no points in football, something happened. The defense played really well. A pass got batted down, or it was thrown incomplete. The running back got stopped at the line of scrimmage. Something happened. In baseball, it's just nothing. And I know there are baseball fanatics who are sitting there going, well, if you really analyze it, it's really a matter of like trying to guess where the pitch is going and when you're playing the right defense.
We're here in Baby.
I don't care. I'm sitting there watching a guy throw a ball at 90 miles an hour that ends up in a glove that goes nowhere and does nothing. It's nothing. It is a game that lasts 3 hours and nothing happens. I cannot justify its existence. Its glory days were when it was played by just white people, and now it's just a thing that we do because we did it before and we just chose to do it still. It's nothing. It's nothing.
You make a very impassioned argument there.
I don't like
Yeah.
baseball, and I come from a family of people who love baseball, so I have to deal with it all the time. It's frustrating. I don't like it.
You don't like the New York Yankees?
No.
The Boston
And
Red Sox?
Here's the thing, right? So this is a different reason why I don't like baseball. There is not unspoken, it's actually very loudly spoken, but there are different rivalries in baseball. Usually they're within the same division. For example, the Yankees and the Red Sox. They are active rivals because they play against each other many times per year and are fighting for the same spot into the playoffs. That makes sense. There's also rivalries within the same city because there are some cities that have more than one team. For example, New York, we have the Yankees and we have the Mets. They're not even in the same conference. They don't play each other frequently. They're not fighting for the same spot into the playoffs. But they hate each other nonetheless because they're from the same city, and one of them's got to be the big brother, right? My dad is a Yankees fan, and my mom is a Mets fan. Every year, I had to hear, well, the Mets are doing better than the Yankees this year. Looks like the Yankees stink. Oh, the Yankees are doing better than the Mets this year. The Mets suck. I don't care. They're playing a boring game for boring people. You're the best at what? Sitting in a chair? It doesn't matter. It's similar to why I hate the sound from 24. It's my traumatized childhood. So that is, I rest my case. I am done with my time. One of you can go next.
No. I feel like no matter what either of us say, it won't be out that shit.
Well, at least
Went
say
for a
your
solid
thing.
10 minutes talking about baseball and how much you hate it. How can any of us measure up to that shit?
You might be able to convince me with your own personal issues with something else.
I'm nominating just another sport.
That's the idea.
Like, it could be things within sports, it could be
I
specific
guess.
people, but I'm nominating an entire sport.
What's yours?
Soccer.
That makes sense. I know you hate that sport.
British football.
Yeah.
To surmise my points, I don't like the fans. I don't like the players. I don't like the game.
Why don't
I
you
don't-
like the players?
They're overpaid for what they do.
I mean, yeah, they are overpaid, but that's
How
not
much-
a problem with them. That's a problem with the way the
They don't argue
industry
with it.
is run. But like, you know,
Well,
if you
why
want
would
to be
they?
a
They're
football
getting all the
player,
money.
then yeah, exactly.
I don't like the
How-
culture around it.
How much
I don't
is
like
it?
that it's the only sport in this country that is
not.
actually worth anything.
It's not.
It is. It is. I'll name another.
We have rugby. We also have cricket.
Rugby seems cool.
But nothing's
Rugby's
quite on
great.
the level of football, though.
No, but like it's still.
This is like the
they
baseball
are
thing, because
still
we used to do it like in the 1200s, and we still do it now because everyone's born into it. And I don't know, I just actively despise a large majority of the sport.
Let me ask real quick, because you mentioned the contracts. How much is a typical soccer contract?
Let's find out.
It's a lot of money.
Too
Because
much money.
In football, you usually get contracts that last about 4 years, and they total out to, on average, depending on the position, let's say 80 to 90 million. So that's the number I'm used to. In baseball, the contracts get wild because there's no such thing as a salary cap. So you'll get contracts that are 10 years long, $300 million total, fully guaranteed, like just wild numbers. But then it comes down to
for
whichever team has the
example,
most money.
I googled soccer contracts, and one of the most frequently asked questions is, what is Lionel Messi's contract?
Okay, so it's
Lionel
like a top
Messi
dog.
being a pivotable, wow, you can pivot him. He's a pivotal soccer player.
Yeah, he's one of the top dogs.
It was previously revealed that Messi's last contract paid him $674 million over the 4-year term.
Holy fucking shit!
Yep.
What? Now, I know Messi might be an outlier, but that's an insane amount of money!
Think about that time where we were like, billionaires have no moral reason to exist.
Oh, wow!
We're getting there with soccer players.
Oh, wow! Is there a
Like,
salary
think
cap?
of the money that could go on to, like, healthcare or societal, like, issues that need fixing, like, but it doesn't. It goes to a man who kicks a ball.
Is there a salary cap? Like, is each team only allowed to pay X amount of total money to all of its players?
Have no idea.
Wouldn't know.
No clue. But
Because if there is, and contracts like that still exist, that's insane.
There's a list here which is the highest paid soccer players in last year. So,
Okay.
number 1 is Lionel Messi, who plays for Barcelona. His total earnings were $126 million
For the year. Oh my god.
for the year. Then it was Cristiano Ronaldo McDonald, who plays for Juventus. His total earnings were $117 million.
Not as big of his drop off as I was expecting. Oh man.
Number 3 is for Neymar Jr. from Paris Saint-Germain. He had $96 million.
This is still wild.
Then it was Kylian Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain, $42 million.
Okay, we just now, at the, like, what, 4th highest, got underneath the one single highest paid player in all of American football. Patrick Mahomes, $50 million a year.
Mm-hmm. And then Mohamed Salah, who plays for Liverpool, his total earnings were $37 million.
Now we're into the normal quarterback
Paul
numbers.
Pogba for Manchester United, $34 million. Antoine Griezmann, Barcelona, $33 million. All of these millions for all of these people. I don't think anyone can actually justify this to me in any sort of sane way.
Now, I'll also say this. My point of baseball being boring to watch, I do feel similarly about soccer.
I've tried. Lord knows I've tried. I've been forced to watch games. I've never had any interest at all. I don't know whether it's because of the presentation, because I enjoy American football.
Right.
I feel like if soccer were presented in the same way, I would probably get into it, but it isn't.
Now, when you
And
say
it's so boring.
when you say presented in the same way, what exactly are you referring to?
Like ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, explosions, eagles everywhere, people like screaming.
but
like
Europeans won't do that because we hate America.
Europeans are boring.
Yeah, but we hate America.
I don't care. It's just boring. Be exciting.
No.
People treat it as like life or death shit, and it's like it's just a fucking just kicking a ball around.
Now,
It sucks, and I hate it, and I want it to go away.
I'll agree in every time I've tried to watch soccer, I have some of the same complaints that I do about baseball. The game is slow because the field is so fucking big. There are a lot of stretches of time where nothing will happen. Games can end in a 0-0 tie. That's not awesome. I don't understand the intensity of the fans.
The fandom of football is, I think, probably the worst fandom in human history.
Yes.
There is no worse fandom than football fans.
I cannot really argue with that. Because the worst you'll get at baseball
Besides maybe Super Hulock.
No.
That's a joke. It was a joke. I
No.
was kidding.
Thank you.
We all remember the Mish Apocalypse.
The Mish Apocalypse was wonderful.
It was funny.
It's great.
Football
It
fans
still
murder
happens.
people for wearing a different shirt.
They do.
Yeah, the worst you'll get in like American football is Philly fans throwing batteries onto the field at Santa Claus. Or at a baseball game, you'll get Red Sox fans and Yankee fans just yelling at each other, but I don't think physical punches are often thrown.
People have died as a result of football hooliganism, and it's something that you can't justify to me. The whole sport sucks, and I want it to go away.
Yeah, no one's ever lit a city on fire because of a baseball game.
What would replace it? I don't know. Shot put.
I like shot put. Big, strong man.
Yes,
throw ball.
everybody likes shot put. It's entertaining. Just yeet a ball. See what happens. That's fun to me.
Okay. Fair. I cannot argue with anything you said there. I also don't like soccer. We only have one friend that does.
Who's that?
Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone else in our circle doesn't like it.
Everyone pretends, or at least actually likes it when England play, but because England sucks as a team and always has and always will and will never win anything important ever again, ever. Just facing facts here. Everyone likes to pretend, but
I think we want the team to do well and the people playing to do well.
I want these people being paid tens of millions of dollars to do well.
I kind of just want them to do well so they don't have to deal with as much disgusting behaviour.
But that shouldn't be a part of how it is.
No, but that's not part of the sport. That's part of the culture.
The culture and the sport go hand in hand.
They do go
The
hand
sport
in
has
hand.
made the culture.
Yes, I understand this, but the
Are you
sport
mad at
is
me?
not single. No, I'm not mad. I'm just like trying to explain to you that like people kicking a ball around is not like directly responsible for people taking it way too far and being disgusting.
I don't know who to blame.
I agree with what Ellie just said. However, I also will say, if you erase the sport, you erase the culture.
Oh yeah, no, I
Nip it in the bud.
100% understand that as well. But I'm just saying, as a thing of just maybe don't hate the people who like to kick a ball. Maybe hate.
No, the people that
everything
don't pose
about
any
it.
problems in it are absolutely fine. It's just I feel like there's a way more negative field there than there is any sort of positive.
There is.
There's again, shot put.
Yeah.
You get none of this with shot put.
I mean, you could get like the shot put like thrown into your face.
Don't aim. You don't aim for people.
Some
You
people
aim
do.
for like the open air.
Some people do though.
Then some people aren't allowed to play shot put. Then
Uh,
don't give them the ball.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Steve, he likes to shot put things in people's faces. Maybe don't give it to him this time.
All right. So I can agree with all of that. Ellie, do you have a nomination for sport?
My thing is very specific, and it is sports days in school.
Sports
Oh,
days.
yep.
I don't think we have this. Maybe.
Okay, so I will explain the Great British Sports Day. It is a day.
Nothing great about it.
No, where you're in school. You know, you can be any age, and this will happen. In year 11, we got to not do it, which was wonderful. But you basically have to sign up for events, and there will be like track events, like running and various other things. There'll be like silly events, like an egg and spoon race as well. And there'll also be like high jump, long jump, kind
Sack
of
race.
that kind of thing. But like, you are forced to sign up to one of the events, at least one. And if you're a kid like me and you did not like sports or PE, you were just forced to basically make a fool out of yourself in front of people because everyone took it far too seriously. So it's just the worst. Everyone takes the day too seriously, even though they're a bunch of teenagers or like literal children, and you're like, I don't even want to be here. Why am I here? So then, if you're like me, you just end up sitting on the school field and avoiding all responsibilities. And then some person will be like, "Where were you? You missed your event." And you're like, I stopped existing."
I fell into a hole for 30 minutes and then came back out.
Yeah. It's the worst.
I can attest to this. I have many a grievance with sports within school as a fundamental thing anyway. Like, physical activity, yeah, you need that as like a part of your education, because it teaches you stuff and then it puts people on the track to being in that profession as you grow older. I get that. What I don't agree with is making the fat kid, me, run around the entire school field and become last in literally the entire school year because I'm fat and slow, and then everyone laughed at me.
I can definitely, because I can only think of like one time.
Also, my dad sat in a chair and then he was on the floor for like a year.
What?
That's the story. So,
what?
My dad sat in a chair, and it fucked up his back so much that he had to recuperate by laying on his living room floor for almost a year.
Why is this connected to the sports day?
Because he was watching a sports day. My sports day. He came to see it, he sat in the camping chair, slipped both of his discs, and then he was on his his living room floor for like 10 months because he couldn't move because both of his discs had fucking herniated.
Jesus. Okay.
Not a fault of a sports day. It was a fault of a chair.
Separate
But the
grievance.
chair was set up and he sat in it because of the sports day. So I blame the sports day. That's my villain origin story.
The people kicking the ball are not directly responsible for your dad sitting in a chair.
And yet, that's who I choose to blame.
Okay. I can think of one time in my entire school-going experience that we had something like that. I definitely didn't enjoy it. I only got participatory ribbons. I didn't win anything. It wasn't fun.
It doesn't even mean anything. Like when you win these events, what does it mean? What does it actually mean?
I won one.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well done.
I did high jump. I did high jump.
Jump's really high.
Yeah. Basically, I
Just straight upwards.
I cheated because they told me to raise the bar, and I did not. I was like, okay, done it.
Congratulations.
I just love the turn Brooks made there. It's like, what does it matter if you win one of these things? It's so stupid. It doesn't equate to anything of value. And then it just comes in, I won one. It's like, oh my god!
Because I love them and I'm proud of them for achieving literally anything.
And
Even
that's
when I
wonderful.
Cheating signifies moxie, and I have to respect that.
Yeah.
Like the
Well
fucking girl from Itaewon Class.
Yeah.
All right. I will also say, in the same vein, did you guys ever have to, this is PE class, and one of the things we're going to do before this semester or whatever is over is you're going to run a mile in under X amount of time.
Yes.
I
hate
think that was the
shit.
thing that I alluded to earlier, basically, was that everyone ran a mile and I was the slowest one. They literally told me to stop before I finished because I was just being too slow.
Oh, I was slow, but that was because my knees are wrong.
They installed them incorrectly.
I mean,
You have to reboot the knees
they really should reboot my knees, but
with a boot.
Every, every stride that they were making on the track just...
I know I'm bad at running, so I didn't care.
Who let this cryptid onto the field?
I would always, try to some extent to be better at it, and it never paid off. But I would always envy those certain people that as we're all trying to jog and get a better time, you would always pass the group of people that are just walking it and they don't care. And I was just like, I wish I could care that little about this, but
Well, what stopped you from
That was me.
not caring?
because I didn't like that I was slow and I wanted to be faster.
That's
And I was
not
like-
that's not how it works, though.
But the way it works with the mile is if you
I
just
want to be fast, and then jet engines popped out of my thighs like Tenya Ida.
no, it was more a
Just
matter
blasted
of
through the entire wall.
it was more a matter of stamina, because if you can jog for longer, you'll get a better time as opposed to having to walk more frequently. You know what I mean?
When you have better stamina, that means better at other stuff.
Yeah, continue that sentence, please. Finish it.
Nah, you're right.
You're
good.
Yeah, that was my big concern in middle school. Being better at sakes.
You said it, not me.
So, all right, I can't really argue with either of those points. So, what are we voting off here? Voting off the island into the room. To sum it up, we have baseball, soccer, and sports day at school.
I don't think I can budge from soccer, honestly.
Honestly, a lot of the complaints I have about baseball can also be levied against soccer, so I'm willing to go either way.
See, I was gonna say baseball because I don't know about it, so it doesn't affect me.
Also, it's such an American-specific thing. Japan has baseball, but I don't know.
Japan is really big into baseball.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
I don't know how they treat it. I don't know if there's a different culture around it than what we have in America, because in America it's just so fucking
I know it's a big deal over there because you often get partnerships with baseball-specific institutes, like the Yakuza video game series had like a baseball partnership. New Japan Pro Wrestling has had a partnership with baseball people. Like, this is a big thing there.
And then you get like celebrity baseball games for charity.
Yeah,
it's fucking everywhere.
We get that too with soccer, like celebrity football, like.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, a lot of my complaints about baseball can be levied against soccer. I'm willing to go either way.
I think it's soccer then.
Okay, soccer. You are a global sport that every country except mine is in love with. And you suck. So, bye.
Kick the ball.
Into the
Goodbye.
room. Go chase
There
the
it
ball.
goes.
Everybody who likes the sport, go chase the ball. Now lock the door behind them. Is that the sound they're making as they chase the ball?
Yeah, that's the sound all football fans make.
They kind of do.
Yeah.
I was gonna say at one point, the one thing that I can appreciate to an extent about
It's in the room now. It's in the room. You can't just say what you like about it now that it's gone forever.
it's just the fact that I like chants in sports. Like WWE
Yeah, I
provides a lot of
guess.
that. And
When they're not racist, yes.
right, the songs, not just chants, the full songs that soccer fans will come up with entertains me sometimes.
I think that's just a European thing in general.
Maybe.
That
But-
just happens in a lot of European crowds with various sports.
Yeah. But it doesn't change the decision. Soccer's gone. It never existed. What is soccer? We made it up.
Again, shot put.
There you go. The new sport of England, shot put.
The sport of bitter chatter. Whenever we are like together in the world, we have to do a shot put special.
There we go. Okay, we'll do the shot put special.
Yeah.
I don't even know really how to be good at shot put. I just know push
That's
ball.
the beautiful thing. Neither do I, but it's our new national sport, so we have to get ready.
The nation of bitter chatter, our national sport, is
The nation
shot
of
put.
2 people, and then you're invited too.
No, thank you.
Great, so it's the 2 of us.
Politely decline.
You don't even
your
want to
invitation.
judge.
No,
You just don't want to be involved.
no.
Well, all right.
I'll play a game on my phone.
Is it going to be a shot put game?
No, definitely not.
Okay, well, we tried.
I think
So,
we have time for maybe one more category.
yeah, we've been getting more conversation out of these than I was expecting. So, who's picking next?
Who picked sports?
I did.
So then, I think it's Ellie's turn.
Oh, I don't know. You pick.
Why are you scared?
I pass my turn to
I
you.
don't want to make a decision.
Okay,
I made
fine.
one.
That's what this whole
Um,
episode's been about, is making decisions.
Yeah, no, but these are premeditated decisions.
We're the scripted reality TV show.
So I'm torn between films and video games.
Is there anything you particularly feel more passionate about?
Let's go with video games.
Okay. What do you got?
Okay. So for my nomination on the video games, I'm gonna go with unskippable cutscenes.
Ooh, good choice.
Because video games and narrative, sometimes they go hand in hand, other times you don't necessarily need one to have the other. For the most part, most narrative video games, they all have cutscenes.
Yes.
However, some of them can be quite short, some of them can be quite long, some of them really long. It's almost like watching a movie. Looking at you, Kojima.
Yeah.
So, it is of my opinion that with every cutscene ever, you shouldn't be allowed to skip it on the first time. However, any repeated viewing, you should be able to skip it, because you've already seen it.
I will say this. I think you should at least have the option to skip it the first time.
Okay, if we're gonna go down that route, sure. Every single cutscene ever, have the option to skip it. Because there are some where you can't. No matter how many times you've seen it before, or how many times you think you're gonna see it again, you cannot skip it. No matter what you do, you're just forced to sit there and wait for things to stop talking so that you can get back to the extremely difficult boss fight, die within a minute again, because you didn't know how to figure it out how to do it yet. Or you just watch the same 3-minute cutscene again beforehand. What's the point? Why is that necessary?
I
You're just
will
making a more frustrating experience. You're
I will-
lessening the enjoyment of a video game.
Yeah, I will give a recent personal experience to this. I've been playing a lot
Oh,
of
I
Mass
too
Effect.
have a specific citation that I can bring up for this.
Okay. I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect 1 lately, and that game is well known for its dialogue trees. You have a lot of dialogue options for every person you ever talk to. And there will be times where you accidentally pick an option you've already picked, and it starts a pretty lengthy back and forth. You can't skip them. I've already heard what this guy has to say about this particular thing. I already know how this exchange is going to go, but I accidentally hit it again, and I can't skip it, and I just have to sit through it and wait for them to stop talking about the fucking Geth on Pharos. I don't care. I already heard it. I know they're in the tunnels. Just let me go. I'm sorry I picked this again. Please.
I love that. That's great.
What's yours?
My specific example is from the first Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh, God.
It's during the confrontation with your friend Riku, who has been possessed by one of the many antagonists of that franchise. And every single fucking time you have to fight him, it's a really difficult boss fight. It's not something that you could win on your first try, no matter how good you are at the game. It's really difficult, and it's really long. The cutscene before it, even longer.
Yeah.
And you can't skip it.
That's why...
And yet they've added in this option into other Kingdom Hearts games after this. I'm assuming because of this one specific instance. It's just... Oh, you can hear the hallowed cries of Sora in your brain. There's no way you're taking Kyrie's heart. Boss fight. Ah! I died. Go back to the save point again. Riku's like, sure.
I can feel the darkness peeing in my veins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the franchise is at this point. I fucking hate it. It's one of the reasons why I can never play that game again.
That is the exact reason why I love Dark Souls so much, because not only does it not force the narrative on you, but the few cutscenes there are, which are usually for boss fights, you can skip them the first time, and if you die again, sometimes it doesn't even play it again. Like, you've
Because
already
you've seen
met
it.
this guy. We don't need to play it again.
You know it. Just go straight into the music. Title
Yeah,
card.
because in that
The
series...
vagabond of the overhaul fiend.
Yeah, because in that series, your death is canonical. Like, it's not you restarted and went back in time. You're just doing it again. You already met the guy. You don't need the big cutscene again.
Game overs are a failure of a game designer.
So it's like, that's why that series is so good, because it's meant to be, you're throwing yourself at this thing until you figure out how to do it. So it's not going to make you sit through that bullshit every time. Not even the first time, most of the time.
It's not fair.
And then you have games where the narrative is so important that sometimes you can't even figure it out, like Kingdom Hearts, and they don't let you skip it. So that's a very good point.
You're saying these words to me in your Haley Joel Osment fucking voice, and I can't understand how to beat the boss battle. It's terrifying. Horrible. It's unnecessary. Why? Why'd you gotta be this way?
Why you gotta do that, Kingdom Hearts?
Why, Nomura?
Yeah.
Anyway, you got something?
You asking me or Ellie?
I forget there's two people here. Hi.
Yeah, wow.
What do you got?
I've forgotten.
Great.
I have two.
You have
So,
two.
I
Ah.
don't, so I'll let you choose which one.
Ooh, okay.
Because you could contribute to the first one, I
Well,
think.
we could potentially nominate both.
Might as well. We'll
Mhm.
say both of them. They would be nominees.
Okay.
So the first one is David Cage. Throw him away.
Yeah, Just-
Yeah,
him entirely.
that is fair. That is very
Get
fair.
rid of every single game he's ever made.
All four of them.
Yeah.
We have talked about David Cage at length and how he's possibly the worst thing in the video game industry. So it's not going to take much convincing with that.
Exactly. He's the worst. Throw him away. He doesn't deserve to exist.
I like your second one as well.
Oh. So my second one
Mhm.
is people who act like beating a game on hard mode somehow makes them a better person.
Ooh.
I just like, we both played the game, we both enjoyed it. You played on hard mode, I had a good time, played it on easy. Like, go outside,
Touch grass.
Take the
Some
butterfly.
grass.
touch some grass. Like, I don't care about how hard it was for you to beat the final boss. I did it in 5 hits and I had an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
This is actually an idea that I heard from somebody. I forget who, honestly, but... Oh, it's from Dean Dobbs on Twitter.
Oh.
It was basically, he had the idea. It was about Dark Souls, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That there should be an option where you just kill every enemy in Dark Souls with 1 hit.
Yeah.
Just bonk, it's done.
Yeah.
Because a game's inherent difficulty is like driving people away from enjoying this rich narrative. And he says this is like an enjoyer of the series.
Yes.
So his idea was to just include a mode, where it's an option to just 1 hit kill everything and
Well, 'cause-
experience the world and experience the story without the hardships of the difficult game.
I like Dark Souls, but I've only ever played it with a friend who had played it so many times that he could do everything very easily, because I cannot play it. It's too difficult for me. Like, I'm bad at video games, but I enjoy them. So he was just like, let me do the combat and everything, and you can just, like, enjoy the story. It's a really good game. It's cool. But it's too hard. No! Let it at least have some kind of, like, difficulty rating so that I can at least kind of enjoy it as, like, a casual player, because if your game cannot be enjoyed by casual players, it's not a fun game.
I don't know if I fully agree with that, but
What's your objection?
I can respect this game's too hard for me and therefore I can't enjoy it. That's fine.
Like, I want to experience Bloodborne, but with my first experience of it, fuck that. No, I'm never touching that game or any Dark Souls game ever.
I get it. I just feel like the 1-hit kill is maybe too, like, an overcorrection. If there was
like 3 or 4 hits, then just like really easy mode.
I know there's a lot of Dark Souls purists that'll be like, no, you can't put an easy mode in Dark Souls because it takes away the entire experience. I do see that the game's difficulty is kind of part of the gameplay. So if you make it too easy, you're taking away everything that the game is. Maybe an easier mode, sure, I can understand that. Like, I don't have too much of an objection to that, because I would like more people to experience Dark Souls, because it's fucking great. I love that game and that entire series.
I want to experience it. It looks like a really fun time, but I just know if I play it, I'm gonna fucking break shit.
And I know that, like, we've talked about the thing where, like, if we ever get a chance to do it, I'd love to do a playthrough where, like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you
like,
play
would
it and
be
I
great,
coach you through it.
But, like,
because
on my
that'll-
own, I'm never gonna be able to do it.
that'll ease some of the difficulty for you. And I do understand that's not a viable option for everybody, you know what I mean? So, like, I get it. If you want an easier mode, sure. I just think don't make it too easy, because then you really are kind of taking away from what the actual gameplay is. There's nothing left at that point, because the game doesn't hand you a narrative, you know what I mean? You have to look for it. So, if you're the type of player that's not going to look for it, and you play on the 1-hit kill mode, there's nothing left in the game. So,
But it's also fun. There's merits in of itself to just go around and bonk dead, bonk dead, bonk dead. That's fun.
Exactly.
suppose.
But also, there should be more to a game than just combat.
and there is, but with Dark Souls you have to seek it out. So, like, that's the
No, I know that. So, I just... You should be able to seek it out. It's just like...
But I can't because this fucking troll keeps kicking me in the anus, and I keep
Exactly.
dying after 1 hit.
So having that insane difficulty is... It just turns off, like, casual players. But also, I feel like this has gotten into a Dark Souls conversation. But it's like... But literally, it's people that think that somehow there are better human being because they're
I'm
like,
a more talented
"Oh,
human being because I beat Resident Evil 4 on the hardest difficulty 3 times.
yeah, I had to play through this game 5 times to get it on the hardest mode, and I did it." And I'm like, "Wow, well done for you! I played it once, and
I mean,
had
yeah,
a great
you
time."
can take pride in that achievement, but don't act like it's made you a better person.
No, and it's like somehow people are like have this thing of just like, "Oh, I enjoy this really hard game, and you enjoy this really easy one. Therefore, I am a better person than you." And you're like, "No."
You know what? I changed my mind. I think there is something to be said about having an option for a game like Dark Souls, where the rest of the world of Dark Souls is difficult and a challenge, and it's this big task to get to the end. And then there's one mode. I would like to have literally One Punch Man mode. If you have to go extreme with that option. I say you take no damage, you don't need a weapon, you literally can punch anything in the game once and it explodes. That I'm actually fully on board with. And then you can just
I would love that.
You can just casually walk around, pick up the items, read their descriptions, and be like, "Oh, this is what's going on, I get it."
Yeah,
and then just
that
punch
would
your
be
way to the
great.
end.
Yeah, fucking Omni-Man mode. I'd love it.
Like, there's so much more to games than just like a combat that's very, very difficult.
Yeah, you know what? I've come around. I'm on board with this.
Yay.
So we're campaigning for the shot put team, and we're also campaigning for the One Punch Man mode on Dark Souls.
I feel like every game should have One Punch Man
One Punch
mode.
Souls.
Every game in existence should have One Punch Man mode. And
Yeah, like Mario.
technically, that kind of already exists.
Yeah.
Which leads me to what I've decided is going to be my nomination, because I've been thinking on this entire time, not knowing what I was going to pick. And with this revelation, I have decided that my nomination is all fighting games.
No, this ain't it.
No.
I cannot stand... It's like what you were saying about soccer, right? Not only can
I get it.
Wait.
Blah, blah, blah.
Not only can I not get into it at all, there's a skill barrier, not able to do it, and watching it, I don't understand what's happening. There's just nothing there for me. And it has created a culture that is the worst. It is the worst. I can't think of a culture within video games that is worse than the fighting game community, because you run into not only its own indecipherable language, but the way that people are. It's unbearable. There's no consensus on anything. The entire community is about arguing. It's all there is. Which game is better? Which character is better in the meta? Which strategy's the best? The saltiness of it all. There's just nothing. And I don't even consider, I'll say this, I don't consider Smash Brothers a fighting game. I know that on some technical level it might be one. I don't consider it one. It doesn't.
It's literally a game where characters fight. What are you talking about?
It doesn't apply the same gameplay mechanics. It doesn't apply the same anything else about fighting games. Because fighting games...
I understand.
When I say fighting games, I'm talking about 2D fighters where it's one-on-one. Smash does not follow that rule at all. So, and the culture around Smash, while also weird and not great sometimes, is separate from the fighting game community culture. It doesn't abide by the same horrid stinkiness that most other fighting games live within. I've tried several times in my life, I've said this before, trying to get into fighting games. And it just ain't happening, Chief, for many reasons. And I think that entire genre needs to go away. There's nothing. You're not doing anything new. I don't know if either of you saw this, but there was a TikTok recently where T-Pain on his Twitch stream was saying about the rap genre. The things you're doing They've been done. There's nothing new there. Stop it. Do new shit. And I feel like the same thing can be said about fighting games. There's nothing new anymore. You're just making the same game over and over with different characters. Stop it. There's nothing left. What are we doing? I just can't justify its existence. The more I think about it, the more I don't like it. And I don't want it anymore. I want it to go away.
Do you remember that time when we played Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction on the PS1?
Yeah.
Which is a Powerpuff Girls fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the most hilarious shit ever, because neither of us knew what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
We were just button bashing, and I was throwing chairs at you, being like, take a seat!
It was like really hilarious. Neither of us were good at it, and
No.
it was just like working out the controls was.
And I won.
Yeah.
My complaint stems from the fact that I guarantee there is someone, at least one human being out there, who, if they heard that, would say, how do you not understand how Powerpuff Girls and the chemical abstraction, whatever you said, how do you not get how the game works?
Thanks for listening.
I forgot the name of the game, that's all.
Chemical Extraction, I believe, was the name.
I wasn't that far off! How do you not get how the game works? You're so bad. Get good. Blah, blah, blah. There's one person on Earth that thinks that way. And that's my problem.
That exists for every single game. Do you know how many people I tell that Zelda is my favorite video game franchise? And when I tell them how long it still takes me to like complete Ocarina of Time, and they're like, why? What's wrong with you? And I'm
Hey,
like,
Carmine, how the fuck didn't you know that you can double jump and crash free? The fuck's wrong with you? Get good.
I get that, and you're right. It will exist for every game ever. And maybe that's more what my complaint is, but I feel like the concentration of it in fighting games is so much higher than in any other genre.
I think that falls under the category of just video game elitism, really, which is sort of what Ellie was saying as well earlier.
Maybe.
I just hate elitists.
Yeah, you know
like
what?
gatekeeping and elitism in video games.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'll just shift to say I'm going with the same thing Ellie's saying. Elitism in video games. Because really, that is where this is all stemming from. And if
It's
it
just
went
fun,
away...
beep
Yeah.
boop, fucking zeros and ones on the screen, look pretty, big titty goth lady, beats up
Exactly.
Iron Man, and it's funny, it's fun, good time, punch,
Woo!
punch, kick, kick.
Fun times.
Yes.
If it went away, then maybe fighting games would be more enjoyable. So you know what? I'm going to shift my thing to that.
It's like when I played Smash Bros. At one time, and I just kept doing down B as Donkey Kong, and it was the most hilarious fucking thing.
Oh, I would have killed you.
It was so funny,
I
because he
would've
just
been
goes
so
boom,
mad.
boom,
I
boom,
know,
boom.
it's the most infuriating move.
It's the best.
I was
What?
once...
Haha.
I was once at a house with a bunch of friends where we were playing Smash, and all one of the guys would do is he would pick Kirby and just float up, and then do the down B where you become a rock and fall on everything.
Oh, I did that too. That was funny.
Yeah.
It's all he would do, and we couldn't stop him.
Because it works.
No.
Why would I do anything else when I can just do this?
Because we had to focus our efforts into killing him, because if we didn't, and we were fighting amongst ourselves, he would just pick us off one by one.
Yeah.
Down B supremacy.
Oh, it's the worst. It's horrible. I hate people that play like that, but I'm also one of them, so it's...
Yes, we are
it's
all
fine.
a down B supremacist.
We are.
I love Smash Brothers because I can pick a character like Little Mac who is not in the meta at all, not particularly good, but I love him because he's a little punch boy, and
Mhm.
He's
I
a little
just
Italian-American punchy boy.
and it's, nobody can
Doing a little
tell me to
punchy
stop.
punch.
Nobody will ever
No.
convince me to stop.
No, that's the best part. Like, I main Link, and if I don't get to be Link, I get mad because I'm like, no, you've taken my boy from me. But like, it's just a fun time.
Yeah. Shoot the arrows, throw the bombs, swing the sword.
Yeah,
Bap,
great.
bap, bap, bap. Wait, that's Kirby.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I
Wait,
think
that's Metroid.
just- I think just elitism within video gaming is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, did we sway you away from unskippable cutscenes?
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Woohoo!
Video game elitism? Go fuck yourself.
Goodbye, Jojo.
Jojo Siwa is an elitist video gamer.
No.
No.
Jojo Siwa's a pansexual icon, thank you.
We love
I
her.
don't know, I just TikTok ad.
know, I just tried to make a funny joke.
Don't hate me, I'm sorry.
Don't hate me, I'm sorry. Why do I sound like the Elephant Man?
Is that how the Elephant Man sounds?
That's how he sounds. He's like, I am a human. And then he lies down and dies. That's what the movie was, wasn't it?
I guess. I never saw Elephant Man.
David Lynch.
I know it's David Lynch. I just didn't...
He's the Elephant Man.
But he is the Elephant Man.
I am a human. Elaborate on that. No.
That audio is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I love David. He's fun.
Elaborate on that. No.
No. Absolutely not. Go fuck yourself.
Why would you even ask that?
Yeah, asking David Lynch to elaborate on anything is a pretty bold question.
Yeah.
But, alright, well, that wraps up our Room 101 discussions. But before we...
So who are the casualties here?
Well, let's go through what we picked as categories. So our first category was animals, and I think we went with mosquitoes, correct?
Goodbye, mozzies.
Goodbye.
And then we picked television, and our elimination there was...
The 24
the 24
countdown.
countdown
Yeah.
sound, that's right. Then we went to sports was next? No, the internet.
Yeah,
the
then it
internet
was,
was
The,
next.
the internet, yeah.
And we
Yeah.
went with minors being in places they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Goodbye, children.
Bye. I hate you. Still.
Then we went to sports, and it was soccer as a whole.
Farewell.
And then it was video games, and we picked
Elitism.
elitism.
Hmm.
One of the categories we had here as a possible choice was food, and I'm very surprised nobody picked that.
We have food, films, and music left over. So, hey, maybe if we have a third person in again, we can do this again some other time.
We could
We can't really do
potentially-
it just us two.
Yeah,
we've,
no, because
we've learned that having to select something when it's just us two can sometimes be problematic.
because
And then
sometimes
I have to be there anyway.
Yes.
yeah, because sometimes neither of us will budge on our opinion.
No, because we are variants of each other. We're both very stubborn in our certain opinions.
Yes. But, yeah, we could potentially come back to this at a later time. But before we head into the wrap-up section of the show, we do have...
Before we go into room 102, which is the chill-out lounge next to room 101...
We're going to take a detour into room 103, which is the one where we occasionally get an email, because we got one.
Ho ho ho! Ho 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 ho! Ho 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 ho! Sorry.
We got an email here from Gabe, who we've known for a while.
Yes, Mr. Voidstorm! Ah, yes.
Wonderful, yes. We got a couple emails from Void, most of which just saying very kind things. But the question that we got from Gabe is as follows. He says, in a previous episode, Sam mentioned that his drag persona would be their D&D character, and now I'm super curious. Do you guys have any fun stories about D&D, tabletop games, or things like that?
Well, we are the ones that play D&D out of us three.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
And
I
even
don't.
then, rarely.
Yeah.
But the times where we have, it's been very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one campaign where we were fighting this giant monster of some description, and of course me at Bad Beach's bread and butter is acid splash. So I somehow got my way up to the anus of the monster,
Oh, no.
and I just melted it inside out with acid splash.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was the best.
That's my favorite
Creative
thing about it.
thinking.
I've never played D&D, but that's the thing about it that makes me want to play it the most, is that there's no real rules. I mean, there's gameplay mechanics, but you can kind of do whatever you can think of.
Oh, and there was another one where I was playing as Selena Skull, which is a modified version of our Brawl character. She was a tiefling, which is all about fire and everything. And I remember we were in an Arctic tundra being attacked by gorillas, monkeys, snow apes, and then there was a giant river. I leapt over the river to what I thought was safety. Rolled a good initiative, rolled a good perception, jumped over. There's a fucking owl bear on the other side of the river, and it promptly just clawed me to death.
Oh, no.
Mm.
I thought I was doing so well. And that's just a metaphor for the entire campaign, really. Is I just went headfirst into dangerous situations, and I got my shit rocked.
Mm.
Very.
It was fun. I love
Yes.
D&D. So much fun.
I've never had a chance to play it. I've made a character in the event that I ever do play, but like,
You made a character.
well, I came up with, I would probably change a couple things, but yeah, I had a character that I was going to use for a campaign that I thought was going to happen, and then it just never happened.
Was it Paskenti the half-elf?
No.
No, sorry, that's Barry. That's Barry's character.
It was, I don't remember the class name, but it was a half giant, like, I think it was an architect or something. Like, I could make, like, inventions. And it was, the whole idea was that, the tribe of giants, half giants that he came from was all about, like, be a warrior, be strong, big boy. And then this guy was like, no, I want to do science. And then he got kicked out. His whole thing is because he's a half giant, he's big and strong, but he also like does inventions that like add on to that. Like I imagine like propulsion boots that he would make that could like you could kick a guy and then also do the propulsion at the same time and he goes fucking flying, shit like that. His name was Snacks.
Oh, I love that.
Cute.
So, but I've never actually had a chance to play.
We should try
so.
and do like a Supla D&D thing. I feel like that would be great fun.
I would love to do that, and I've thought about it for a very long time. But one, I don't know who would DM because it would have to be one of us, and I don't know if either of us are actually capable of that.
Ellie, DM.
Oh god, no, you don't want me to DM.
Okay then.
And also, our friends are, let's just say, chaotic, and would probably just make it a miserable experience.
Well, you never know until you try.
I would love to do
No.
a recorded thing and see if that would actually go anywhere at all, but
We'll all go on a quest together. It'll be fun.
yeah, because there are websites that you could, like, we could do remote play D&D, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a thing, but that involves setting it up and all of that stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
one day, but for now, we'll just dream about it.
Keep an eye out for the Bitter Chatter spin-off podcast where we play D&D with our friends and then immediately regret it, and it lasts maybe 2 episodes.
Bitter quest. We love it.
The closest thing I have to a tabletop experience that I can like recall with a lot of joy is when we were all, it was during Carmine Week in London, and we were all at that one gaming pub. And
Oh yeah, the loading bar.
the Loading Bar. Shout out to the Loading Bar in London. We played, what's the name of the game? Blockbuster? What is it?
Blockbuster. Yeah.
Blockbuster. For anyone who doesn't know about this game, which I didn't before I played it, it's fantastic. Actually, Brooks explained it. You know it better than I do.
So, from Big Potato Games, it is based off of the video rental chain, Blockbuster Video. And you're basically given loads of different movies on cards, and these cards are split into genres like fantasy, thriller, crime, action, all that stuff. And some of the rounds involve you having to mime out a movie, and they have to guess what the movie is. Sometimes you have to sum up in one word. You have to guess what the movie is. Sometimes you have to name a movie that has animals in it, and then you have to buzz in and say what it is, and then the last one to buzz wins. So it's a whole fun, very fun thing, and I have very fond memories of playing that during Carmine Week.
Yeah, me and Brooks were on a team playing it. And what were you doing for Dirty Harry that I couldn't fucking figure it out?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like you were
I
like
have no idea.
pointing at me or something, and I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, it's like, you feel lucky? Punk? I was like doing the gun thing.
And I don't remember what the movie was that Ange screamed, but the fucking moment where she like threw her hands down on the table and whatever the movie was, like, this movie, motherfucker!
Independence Day.
Independence Day,
Yeah.
motherfucker!
It's like, we've already said that.
Yeah, the
Shit.
best part was that was her guess, and she was so
Yeah.
passionate about it, but it had already been said.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh,
vividly.
Mamma Mia.
Oh, right. And I was like, what, West Side Story? I don't fucking know.
It's because our friend Keelan, like, when he came up with the movie Mamma Mia, he just did like a jiving his arms, snapping his fingers thing, and then that became an in-joke as a way to describe Mamma Mia.
But I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, it was funny though.
That was great. So yeah, that's my personal favorite. But yeah, people should play more tabletop games when able to.
They are funny.
Yes.
They are good.
Funny joke. Go buy Blockbuster. And also that game that it was basically fucking Uno, but with.
Oh, did you bring Uno?
I did bring Uno.
We're gonna play Uno later. Are you
It's
jealous?
BTS Uno.
Oh, I'm gonna get the reversal gin.
No, the reverse is K.
Okay.
What is Jimmy?
Sorry.
Yeah, we had a version of Uno, but it was using different stations for the London Underground.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
was
enjoyed
fun.
that.
They were fun.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was the email. Thank you, Gabe, for sending us that email. It was a fun thing to talk about.
We appreciate your kind words. We read them and we filled our small hearts with a lot of joy.
Yep. So, with that, if you want to send us an email, you can send it to bitterchatterpodcast@gmail.com. And you can either send something like that, like what Gabe did, or you can respond to something we might have said in an episode, or talk about what you would have put in Room 101, something like that. It's up to you. We also have socials for you to follow. You can either follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and they're both the same handle, which is @BitterChatPod. And then us personally each have our own individual socials. Ellie, is there anything you want to plug?
No, because I did an ad break at one point. I don't have anything to promote. You don't need to find me anywhere.
Just a reminder.
I don't exist.
Jelly Pop Shop on Etsy.
Buy all the things.
Whatever they are.
Buy all the things I might put in there.
Brooks, what about you?
My name on the Twitters and the TikToks can be surmised in the form... Why are you facepalming?
I'm not.
You just look... You're massaging your temples
I'm
like...
stroking my eyebrows.
Okay. My name on TikTok and Twitter is Strayborn. I am currently tweeting rhymes along with crispy, juicy, tender. Have you been seeing those tweets?
I have been, and they're really good.
Crispy, juicy, tender.
You
Put me in a blender.
wrote a poem about my butt.
Hakuna Matootie. What a wonderful booty.
I also like this. It's not one of the rhyming tweets, but there was the one that you posted a day ago saying, "Watching Loki, partner had a dream about there being a variant of Shrek." What?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm tweeting about my partner because they're more inherently naturally funny than I am, so I have to give a platform to their dumb, stupid things, like having dreams about Shrek variants and why we should just sterilize the entire population for a whole calendar year.
I feel like things would balance out.
I feel like things would balance out, is what they said.
They would though.
They would, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
No? What are you talking about? Find out on Twitter. I'll write the follow-up. It is Strayborn.
But don't try to find me.
And then
Don't.
on TikTok, I am also Strayborn. I have many a video in the drafts. They're coming. Watch out.
here they come. Any day
They're
now.
coming. Any day, any second.
Wait, just give it a second.
Just give me a minute. This doesn't normally happen. Just give me a minute.
I swear this isn't
Do something sexy.
I just real
And
quick
then it'll come.
going back to your Twitter as an editor, I love crispy, juicy, tender, timeline set to render.
Crispy, juicy, tender. Timeline set to render.
And then I also have socials. All three of them have the same handle. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram @thatguy_Carmine. I'm currently not posting on any of them because I need a little bit of a break from TikTok. I can't think of things to tweet, and I don't know what else to put on Instagram now that Egg Salad's done. But I swear to God, something's gonna happen. Just you wait. I'll show you.
Can you do shot put?
Uh,
Can you push the shot put agenda?
on Instagram?
Just do funny faces of like shot put athletes because they make the best faces whenever they do shot put.
That's not a bad idea, actually. We'll embrace
Just
shot put.
do like shot put week.
Well, I'll embrace shot put as the official Bitter Chatter sport.
Yes. Delightfully wonderful shot put.
So look out for that, I guess. And with that, I think we're done here. So, oh my God, look at that! It's a shot putter. How did you get in my room?
Oh my God! He threw a shot put at my face.
Ow! How did he get in here with his ball? What is Is there a name for the thing, the ball that is shot put?
It's a shot put.
Oh,
My face.
that makes sense.
My face
Yeah.
has a ball in it. Oh God! Someone get the ball out.
It sound right, boy.